sounds so we can't fight. Now we cringe on the cases, so we choose to be done. But I read about the times we was longer for one. Relic in the corner, couldn't eat with the dog. Evolution, the revolution, make us sleep with the fog.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody, to the GLO podcast. I'm your girl, Leah Taylor, also known as Lady Boss Leader. I told y'all a little bit of why, but I am so excited for today's show because I have my cousin here, and then I have my good friend here. They're both veterans of the United States military.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get into that in a little bit. We're going to ask, what branch they served in and a little couple of questions, but we're going to let them tell their stories. This podcast is all about empowerment, leadership, making sure that we give breath into your air so that, you know what I'm saying, you can know that you're not alone. So we going to be going all over the place with our topics. And like today I said, we are talking to some vets. And like I said, I am ready to get started. So first I want to introduce Mr. Taurus Sanders. You out there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. How are you today?
I'm feeling quite well.
That's good. So I just want to say, how we met, and then I'm going to give it over to you so you can give us a little bit about your story about, what you went through when you were in the military and what happened after that, what you're doing now. I just want to say that it's crazy how things happen because we have already covered the part that I work a lot of jobs, right? So the latest job is at Ricky's Bar, which Taurus is one of the owners, right? So before I even met him, I'm doing my thing. I'm serving drinks. So I go over to him. I serve him some drinks, and I come back. I'm like, okay, it's going to be, $50 because he bought a few drinks. And he was like, I don't pay for no drinks. I'm like, what do you mean you don't pay for no drinks? Because I didn't know who he was. He was like, you need to find out who I am. Nobody told me. So they was like, so I goes over because I'm checking because if I'm at somebody's place of employment, I'm an employee, I'm gonna make sure that the owners are happy. So I'm not gonna be like, whatever, I'm not gonna take it for a grain of salt. So I'm going to check. I'm like, man, who is this dog? He talking about he don't pay for no drinks. And they was like, he one of the owners. I was like, well, thank y'all should have told me that. So that's how we met. But I went back to him. I was like, well, at least you know that I'm not letting nobody walk up out of here with yoked products in their stomach and not paying for it, right? Remember that how we met?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, like so calm. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember
So anyway, I'm gonna let you go ahead and tell us, a little bit of your background and how you got into the military. Excuse me, and anything that you want to share about your experience while you were in there.
So, well, how I decided to go in was I got into first of all, I grew up in Oakland, California, from Oakland, and I was just trying to find a way out of Oakland because back in the 80s and the 90s it was kind of rough. So
yes.
So I figured I'll just join the service, stay out of trouble. So I went on ahead and joined, and what happened was when I went in, it was crazy because I never thought that I would be fighting the same war in Oakland. So it was crazy, but I went on in and I made the best of it. I didn't know I was going to end up going to the Desert Storm War, so I ended up getting caught up in that, and it was a lot of work over in there, dealing with the race thing. I was like, man, I probably should just stay in Oakland if that was, the whole case. But I stuck it out. Multiple times they was trying to kick me out, just because I was from California and Oakland and stuff. So I found the way to, hang in there. And so after the war, after I did my time, I decided to get out and go to school and find a good job. So that's what I ended up doing, just make my story a little bit shorter. And then I end up everything, it worked out for me. So I got my job. I've been with Pac-Bell AT&T for 24 years now.
Okay.
Uh,
What
got the little.
branch of the
I'm
military
sorry.
were you in? What branch were you in?
I was in the United States Navy. So
Navy.
yeah, so I did a lot of time out there at sea. Uh, the job I did when I was in the TAC squadron. So I was a jet mechanic. I worked on jets,
Oh.
A6 intruders. That's the jet I worked on. And from there, things kind of turned around for me. When I got in there, but still, I still dealt with the race thing. So
So when you said somebody they were trying to kick you out, who was it that was trying to kick you out?
uh, the white folks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, any just any little thing that you do when you're a minority in there, it's like, yeah, they go in tough on it. Uh, for instance, I'll give you a quick little story on what happened to me when I was over in Thailand. I was in Thailand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they told us what we could do and what we couldn't do. Well, these dudes over here, they over here bungee jumping off a steel pier, right? Or whatever. Well, that's dangerous because what if the wire break and you hit the platform, right? Guess what?
Right.
You're gone, right? So I jumped on a motorcycle, rented a little motorcycle, and and I didn't read nowhere. I didn't read anything in the paperwork saying that I couldn't do that.
Uh-huh.
But then when I got back, my little master chief, he was a white guy. I don't know, he probably from Wisconsin or something. I don't know, but he seen me get on a motorcycle, and so what happened was I told him, I said, well, these people over here bungee jumping off this little steel thing, right? I said, so he captain's masked me for like a whole month and a half.
And what does that mean?
What that means is that I had to put like triple duty, all the other ports I couldn't get off the ship because I have to do everybody's duty, and then it was making me check in every hour on an hour while we was out to sea, 24 hours for that whole like month and a half. So I had to do all that. Plus I had to do the triple duty and all that stuff. So it was kind of tough, Basically, I got to wake up out my sleep like every hour on an hour.
Were
Yeah.
they making anyone else do that?
Nah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you the only one being punished for it?
Well, just as being a minority, I mean, pretty sure other minorities is being punished as well, but not for what I was being punished for. So it was a little different.
Gotcha.
So then I was a little ticked off, but I was like, they probably just trying to get up under my skin and have me just act out, and I was like, I'm not gonna fall for it. So yeah. So and, luckily it started at home with me being the way I was being raised. That's why I heard somebody earlier say, "Oh, he just got that calm look on his face." Been like that all my life, ever since I was a little kid. So, but once that war ended, I was like, nah, this ain't for me. I ain't out here to be fighting y'all war. So I decided to get out, and it actually worked out for me.
So how long were you in? How long were you in for?
I was in the service for like 5.5 years.
Oh, 5.5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. And you were deployed once or more than once?
No, I was deployed way more than that. I think I deployed like had to be probably about 7 to 10 times.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's right.
And,
Would
and,
you
and
say that? Oh, I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry. Go ahead. I was gonna ask you. You said that you've been calm like this all your life. Do you feel like that was an essential skill that you possessed? When you were going through your service.
yeah, that was a skill. I felt like that that skill that was given to me by my grandma, it really helped me out. It helped me to be calm and cool and not to just act on sight. So yeah, yeah, I always was taught just to have plenty of patience. I was taught that. So, and that's what I live by, you know. But yeah, I think that's what helped me get through, because I know there was a lot of other people in there that didn't make it through, that got kicked out, and you know, they just left. They basically abandoned their jobs. So that's what happened.
So,
Yeah,
Torres, can you tell me? You said that you were basically reprimanded because you were riding a motorcycle,
right.
and I'm waiting for the rest of it because I'm thinking I know good and well they didn't give you this punishment for 6 weeks over riding a motorcycle, and you got people over here who risking their life on top of already being in the service. But what did
Okay.
he show you in writing that let you know that you were going against whatever code of ethic or rules or regulations? What did he show you to justify this punishment?
They didn't show me anything. That's just what it was. They didn't show me anything. Yeah. No paperwork, no nothing.
So
Yeah.
he decided on his own that
Yeah.
this is not something that you are supposed to do.
Right. To endanger your life, basically, because you're government property right now.
And the jumping off the steel structure with these cable wires is not an endangerment to your life.
That's what I had spoken to him. I had mentioned that to him. I was like, well, what's the difference, right? And it wasn't to be said. That's just what it was. Yeah.
So although he didn't show you anything in writing to justify the punishment, did
Right.
he provide you any reason as to why the punishment was that intense?
Nah. Nah. I think it was just something to try and screw with you. You know. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in the military that they don't talk about. But I think it was just to try and mess with your mind, and you know, just have you do some off the wall stuff. But that was it. It was never justified on you know, for the punishment. First of all, I didn't fit the crime. So
No.
if I'm saying it right.
Right. Wow.
Yeah,
Don't sound too different from corporate America to me, but okay.
You know. But yeah. So, and then I was actually I was stationed overseas. So that's why we deployed so much over there, because we was closer to Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Can
So
you
I
tell
was
us a little bit about that experience of being in close to Saudi Arabia, especially with all that's always going on, you know, that side of the world?
Right.
How was that experience?
yeah, it was a little different. I mean, we it was just different. Like I never, like I said, I was a young kid. I'd never been you know, we never been overseas like that. So it was definitely an experience. I I did appreciate that part of it, because you know, a lot of us would never get to see that stuff, you know, because we never really go places like that. So it was cool that I seen all that. Yeah, different.
So would you give the advice for people to, if they got the chance to see some part of the world besides, you know, going to Hawaii, or would you give that advice to travel overseas?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's pretty cool. You know, it's actually cool. You know, you can go see something that you may never get to see. You know, so it's just different. You know, it's almost like, you know, you over there, and you know, you can go overseas, and it's almost like, you know, you free, right? How many people can go get passports?
right.
Right.
Not many people, right? Because we always got something on our record or something, or been locked up, you know, and they ain't gonna give you all that. So I just, you know, I just thought it was cool.
Well,
But I like
if I may ask, in your 5.5 years,
Mhm.
your experience outside of the one that you just shared with us, what are some of the pros and cons that you would share? Some of the pros about going into the military. I know you just mentioned that the ability to travel. But in addition to that, what are some of the pros and cons that you feel based upon your experience?
The good, the bad, and the good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the bad thing is they like to mess around with the minorities. They like to try and get you all out of your. They just try and mess with you. That's the bad part. And if you're not strong enough, then they will get to you.
Mm.
That's the only thing that I can say for me, because that's what I witnessed. The good thing is I didn't even know that, like, I would be getting all these benefits at this point in my life. Um, that's the good thing. Like, I get medical for the rest of my life free, right? They also gonna pay me for the rest of my life for free, right? And I was able to use this little VA thing to go get a house, the VA loan, and you can keep using it. You just don't have to stop there. So so that's one of the good benefits, as long as you make it up out of there with an honorable discharge. So it actually, it could work out for you if you just stick with it. Yeah,
Keep your head down.
yeah.
Hmm.
As they say
So
in
that's
Oakland, keep your head on a swivel.
For real.
Mhm.
right.
Well,
Well, it sounds like your exit was, you got a blessing because your exit was good. You were able to get your
Yeah,
benefits, use your VA loan, because we have heard the horror stories of people where that doesn't happen for them for whatever
right.
reason. Like
Uh-huh.
you said, maybe they got a dishonorable
Right.
discharge. So, that part of it was a blessing for you. So I'm happy to hear that worked out for you in your favor.
Right. Appreciate it.
well, while we still have you, I would like to ask both of you, because we also have Mr. Ronnie Thomas, like I said, my
Yes.
cousin,
Yes.
who's also a vet. But I want to ask you guys,
Mhm.
how do you feel about the times when boys and men were forced to enlist into the service? How do you
And
feel
when they
about
didn't have a
that?
choice.
Well,
Yeah.
Right.
if I could start, I think force. I think being forced to enlist is it was a bad thing, but sometimes that's what you have to do. I mean, you
How?
have to you have to be able to defend the United States, and the only way to defend the United States is with people. So if you
Mhm.
can't get voluntary forces, they would have a voluntary or mandatory enlistment, which actually means when you hit high school, you just have to sign your name. It don't mean you have to go. It say, hey, I'm 18 years old. I'm not going to college. So if all hell breaks loose, excuse my language, if all stuff break loose, they could just call you because you of age and you of a fighting age. So do I think what I think about it? I think it sucked back in the day.
Mhm.
Do we think it's necessary now? No. But I knew it was at some time during the Vietnam War. I think it might have been necessary. I was too young to know. I didn't have to go, so I didn't care. But to keep it real, though, I think defend the United States, which it might be a necessity, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But it sucked to be drafted or to be in the draft or sign up for the draft. But that's what that means. When you turn 18, you sign up and say, yo, I'm fighting age. I'm gonna go do something. So you sign up for the draft. They draft you when all hell breaks loose.
Mm.
That's just from my understanding of how it works.
So, how do you feel about that question, Tori?
Man, I'm with him on that. Yeah, that sucked. I don't know what I would have did. Um, yeah, I probably would have been ticked off because you know, I mean, you gotta look at it like too. Like when I was there, man, come on, man, we fighting over some oil for real. So I'm like, just be fighting over some crazy stuff. And then what I seen when I was out there, it's like, bro, we really fighting over this oil. You got the dude trapped. Y'all could have been and did what y'all wanted to do to him, but y'all let him go. On top of that, I'm like, man, you doing all this, man. People over here dying for all this, man, and y'all over here worrying about some oil. So I'm with Ronnie on that. Definitely, you know, well before my time.
Yeah, way
Mhm.
before.
At that time, I don't even know if I probably would have went AWOL. Probably, I don't know.
Yep. I
So
probably would have dashed. I probably would have
Understood.
dodged the draft if they made me go. I actually went voluntarily. So, but I
right,
probably would have shook it, dodged it. I probably went to college, played football, became a crackhead or something. I would have did whatever I need to do, so I didn't have to go back in the day. But yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
people were fleeing to Canada, right, to
yeah, people were,
avoid
but
Oh.
yeah,
having to
people
go
was
to the
leaving.
war during that
Yeah,
time.
man.
but in that time, that is in my opinion, that is truly fighting for no reason. The Vietnam War was truly for no reason,
hmm
in my opinion.
Mm.
That was a waste of a lot of resources and stuff. Truly political war. Now the Gulf War and Saddam Hussein and all that, they still trying to blow our ass up, blow us up. I know this gospel show up. Sorry. So they still trying to take us out. So do I
Well,
believe that particular war was successful? No, I don't think we should have went to Gulf War thinking he has weapons of mass destruction. But I do believe that we need to take the bullets out of them dudes who can't wait to blow United States up, in my opinion. And there are
yeah,
people who raised from the baby to they get older to do just that.
hmm
So we have to be
yeah.
prepared for that.
So that brings to mind
hmm
Marvin Gaye's song,
hmm
War.
War,
What is it good for?
hmm
absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
No, yeah.
hmm That's
But
Right.
kind of how I feel as well.
I just have slightly different stories, and maybe because I was so close to the Pentagon and what they was actually trying to accomplish, I have a different view of Southeast Asia and what they do over there. And let me just give you an example. Okay, when I was in Saudi Arabia, it's probably not my turn to talk, but I'm gonna talk anyway. When I was in Saudi Arabia, when you wake up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, there is a old guy who is praying over the loudspeaker. Everybody in that country stops to listen to this one guy. This one guy is a cleric, and he has generations of him saying that. Now, the people in Saudi Arabia don't go to school now. They don't go to school. They don't have that kind of training. So what they hear over the speaker is what they believe. So from her age to my age, all I know is I live like this because we allow United States to do all this crazy stuff because we know in the Quran this is against God's word. So as long as we let these people over in the United States keep doing that, we gonna continue to stay over here in this terrible stuff. That's what they think. But they can go to somewhere else. If they go blow up a few Americans, they become martyrs. So that's some stuff you can't coach that out of nobody. So
Right.
people like that is either kill or be killed.
Wow.
When it's my turn, I'll tell you a story about a 17-year-old that we befriended in Saudi Arabia, and we befriended them because we was taking a lot of stuff out of their house. When we set up for combat around their house, we was taking everything they needed, and we would give them money. So what we did was we invite these kids to make some money, come clean in the mess hall and all that stuff. That dude did that for 9 weeks. And then when we got ready to move, you know what that young kid do? He came in our sight. It's 120 degrees outside. He's got on a trench coat and he's walking in our sight. So my soldiers knew that this was unusual. When they engaged him, this dude had bombs strapped to his body.
Boom.
What?
He was about to come in our dining facility and
What?
take us out after we fed this dude for 9 weeks. But they found out, the enemy found out he was close and said, this is how we're going to take out this thing by suicide bomber. So we killed this 17-year-old kid in front of our gate. And I think I still thinks about that. But when
Wow.
we shot him, he blew up and we said, self,
Oh my
good shot,
goodness.
player. And we
Wow.
packed our bags and we left because our site was compromised. So when you think about war and stuff, and you think about the towers and you think about our actual enemy is not Russia, it'd be the ideology from the people who thinks Islam and we let these people live like this. They have marriage with sex without marriage. This is all against the Quran. We live like this because we allow them to live like this. This is why they want to blow up the towers. This is why they have people coming over here. And anytime we set on that soil, they try to take us out. I mean, this is an ideology like we like Prince and Michael Jackson and Usher. They like to blow us up. This is how they get to the next. This is how they become martyrs and see Allah and all that. If they take out 15 of us, they win it. So when you talk about, drafts and stuff like that, and my actual military, I went into TAC satellite communication, which put me directly in the command center. So I got to see and hear a lot. And
what before you go on, what branch? What branch were
I
you
was in the
in?
United States Army Special Operations.
Wow.
So if you
okay.
think about special operations, they do. I went into signal after. It ain't my turn yet. Am I just talking?
No, we let it flow.
So okay. So after high school, I went to play football, and after that, I went and joined the military. So I always already had a degree. So I go into special ops, telecommunication, and I served in the military for 12 straight years without firing a shot.
Oh wow.
And my 12th year, I got deployed to Panama, and then I got deployed to Saudi Arabia, in which we fought and fought and fought. And and I got a chance to listen to the communication, listen to what they want to do, what they trying to do to us. So I had a different view of combat. So I spent a year in Saudi Arabia and 18 months in Kuwait. So, I spent a lot of time there setting up telecommunications and stuff like that. Actually, to tell you the truth, I watched y'all show before, right? And I know y'all was talking a lot about, God and praying and this is my story. My grandmother and grandfather was praying people. My mom and dad was praying people. We grew up in the gospel groups, and that's how I even know how to do music. So when I went over to Saudi Arabia, I was scared in a mofo. I was the whole time we was there, but I just kept praying, and my dad gave me a gospel album, and Dwayne Wiggins gave me the Tony album. So I listened to that gospel album over and over and over to the tape pop, and I glued it back together, and I just had to do that, and that really kept me and my soldiers grounded.
That's amazing.
It kept me grounded. I mean, out of all the stuff going on around us, it kept me grounded my entire military career. So, those y'all don't know, but the brother took a bullet in 92 in the shoulder. And I could tell you, I got shot on a Thursday. I got to the medical tent on a Monday. I continued the whole fight and got all the way to the medical tent. They took off my flight vest. I was doing fine. Smoking a cigarette, talking like I normally talk. Yo, it's all good. When that lady stuck her finger in my shoulder, I passed out. Bloop. And I had a hole straight through my shoulder. And it bounced off of my track and hit me there. So it just kind of like went through. But at that moment, the chaplains and everybody started praying. I told them right there, I ain't going nowhere. Y'all got the game twisted. Finna bandage this puppy up and finna go right back to my homies, which I did. About 4 weeks later, I got a patch. And then I went back. And I finished my combat tour there, and then I retired. 15 years in one day. Because I was special operation and I did some crazy stuff with the SEALs, and I was crazy. I was young. After playing football, you want to jump out airplanes, you want to do all kind of, I'm gonna try to make as much money as I want to do, I was doing all kind of acrobatic stuff so I could get ranked. So, to go back to my story, I come from praying people. I come from all kind of stuff. That's how I deal with. Y'all probably didn't even know the brother got shot. Did you know, Cuzzo? You didn't know I got shot?
No.
No.
I had no idea, and I've been knowing you for ever.
Come on now. But that's not nothing. I just thought I'd come share that. And this really bounced back to my faith. Really, because I took 32 people to war. I brought 31 back.
Oh, wow.
One dude got shot. He was all right, though. He just came back before we did because he got shot trying to engage that dude with the bombs on him. And some of the shrapnel, he didn't get shot. The shrapnel kind of caught him. He was too close. So he came back to the States.
So you did not lose one soldier in
I didn't
combat.
lose
That's
one soldier.
amazing.
I didn't lose
That was a
one.
blessing.
But
That's
don't get
nothing
it
but a
twisted. I
blessing.
wasn't out there running around diving over shooting people. I was a tech satellite person. I was running from people. I was making sure I'm out the way. I mean, I did have to engage some people, but that was not my primary job, is to search people out and kill them. My primary job was to provide communication throughout the Saudi Arabia region. That was my job.
Well, I have one question for both of you.
Come on. Ooh, I know I was talking a lot.
No, it's fine. What is one obstacle that you would say that you were able to overcome while you were in the service? Maybe somebody else wasn't able to outlive or overcome it, or what is one thing that you would say that you were able
what's
to
my
overcome?
man name? My
Taurus.
veteran? Taurus, he had it. You know, I don't know if you know, I'm well-spoken, educated Afro-American with a degree. And people, when you go out of California and you in the South Carolina, they don't comprehend that you can speak this well, be that smart, and be on that. They don't like that at all, especially when they put somebody like me in charge of them. So he right. My obstacle was dealing with the people over me, always challenging my knowledge, education, my experience, and everything, because I'm a minority. But you know, being a praying man and coming from my background, I'm gonna show you. I've been like that from day one. You can say whatever you want to, player. I got the stripes. I run this, you run around in it. And that's how I approached the whole time. And I had some people over me trying to, like he said, you know, sabotaging and doing stuff like that. And back to my man's story, I could tell you why you got in trouble, man. When you overseas, you're not supposed to drive motor vehicles now unless you have a license. So I remember my my wife at the time, when I was in Germany, just took off in my car without no license, got smooth pulled the hell over and all that good stuff. And I was like, you ain't got no license. I got in trouble for her. So, and they had a big deal about it. I don't know your particular situation, but they had a big deal about soldiers in motor vehicles. So, I don't know your particular situation, but when you were saying that, I was like, yeah, that's probably why you got in trouble. Because you're not supposed to operate motor vehicles unless you have license. Bikes, motorcycles, anything. In Thailand, they stuff would fall apart. Your wheel would fall off halfway down the road. You probably get killed, player. So they probably so they definitely didn't want you on that, But in your other story, they were supposed to come and tell you why you punished. And if they didn't, that's a fumble. That's a fumble. They're supposed to counsel you. What the Navy's different than the military, the Army, but they were supposed to tell you why you was in trouble.
Earlier, Ronnie, if I may, Taurus mentioned that he didn't see a purpose in the war that him and his peers were in. And I'm young enough to remember that time, that Desert Storm War, and even the civilians over here didn't understand the purpose. Did you see a purpose in the war that you and your team was engaged in? Was there, in your opinion, a meaning or a purpose behind it?
Well, in our briefings, we was told that if Saddam Hussein got any weapon that can reach the United States, he about to fire it. And that's nuclear, chemical, whatever. He's going to fire this missile at New York. And we was told, which is proven that not correct, that he had weapons of mass destruction. Which means if he fires something in New York, it's going to take New York out. And he was trying to get these Scud missiles. So we was told to prevent this from striking after 9/11 again, we need to go in there and find these weapons of mass destruction and take him out. So that was our marching orders. You want to save the United States? Go and find his chemicals, weapons, take it out and take him out of power. That was the marching order. Now, whether that was true or political or not, that's what we was told. So when you tell a whole bunch of 19, 20-year-olds that you finna save Oakland, California from getting blowed off the earth from some homie, and then you already got this rah-rah in your military, you go be all you can be. Well, at least you convince yourself that's why you out there. I guess that because I didn't see no weapons of mass destruction. I ain't see none of that. And when I got back, they said, "Look here, psych. It wasn't no mass destruction. It wasn't no weapons out there." But at the time, I was after it because I want to protect my praying family at home. So if I could do that in the military, that's why. That's the reason they went to Gulf War. True or not, I don't know.
That's the reason you were told. Yes. That's the reason we were told.
That's the exact reason the United States was told. That's correct. And that's the exact reason they told us that's why we going. And they did have they had Bin Laden trapped in Tora Bora. They had him trapped in the mountains. But my man to tell you, like, we ain't going in them mountains looking for nobody. This is like trying to find a crackhead in Oakland, California that's got way more money than you. Like, we gonna wait till he come out because he was gonna lose thousands of soldiers trying to go in that mountain range to get his big head self out of there. That wasn't gonna happen. So they said,
something that you said.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry, Ronnie. I was just going to say something that I thought about when you were telling your story is you were saying that over there in Saudi Arabia and it's basically like a Muslim faith and they believe in the Quran.
Yes.
And what I thought about was the Bible and in slavery days where they were using the Bible in a way that it wasn't intended for. They were telling us things that were not true. We were unable to read. We were not educated. So they were telling us things that were supposed to be in the Bible that we know today wasn't true. And that just made me think about that when you were mentioning them following the Quran, because it sounds like their culture, what they're being taught, doesn't align with that. Because I haven't fully read the whole Quran, but from the passages that I have read, I didn't see anything in there that you're supposed to attack people, harm people, hurt people. No, it's supposed to be love and brotherhood. So that just made me think about, using religion against people or using it in the incorrect way, what it's not meant for.
Yeah, you 100% right. But let me clarify something. It don't say nothing like that in the Quran. But what happens, and I mean, excuse me, I'm not political, but when you're not educated, people like Donald Trump can tell you shit and you'll believe it. Because you don't know nobody.
Yeah, that's
I'm
very
going to
true.
deport all the Mexicans. Who gonna do that shit? You can't even protect Oakland. Who gonna go gather up the anyway? So when you have people who interpret the Quran and this person is on the loudspeaker and he happened to be extreme. Okay, we have extreme Baptist people that'll get on your nerves. Don't come to church with no pants on. No, we got some extremes.
Right, that's true.
You take that to the third floor or way out there. So this dude read the Quran and really say this, and then he reads over the loudspeaker. They not reading the Quran. They listening to a cleric that's passed down from a cleric to a cleric to a cleric. To be a cleric, you gotta have generations of clerics. And then in the morning, he's on the loudspeaker talking to everybody. Everybody in the country stops, put the thing down, listen to homie. Whatever he's saying is word. They not backing it up like we do. We be in church like, hold on, Pastor, that Genesis didn't say that, bro. Something else
right. Yeah, and thankfully we're able to do that now. But during the slavery days, they were not. So it was kind of the same setup where they were. The slave masters were reading the Bible to them. They didn't have access to, go and check what they're saying. So that just made me think about that when you mentioned that. That's something we know is also happening in another country. They're using the Quran in a way that it wasn't meant for.
It's called extreme. And then when they have the extremes, then, extreme, the loudest voice always take charge, They screaming the most, so that's what people hear. So
right. Yeah. And I think that goes along with something that Malcolm X said is if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
That's right.
That's right.
Say that one more time. That's absolutely right. So, yeah.
And Mom, I just wanted to tell you the song that you were referencing, I don't think that was Marvin Gaye. I think that was Edwin Starr. War, what is it good for?
I was going to say the thing. Mercy, mercy me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was my military story. I really want to come on all the way to San Francisco to tell Cuzzo I got shot. So I'm really not crazy. I just been through a lot of stuff because they think I'm kind of off. But I really
No.
been through a lot. And what keeps me grounded is my faith. And I believe in good people. I believe in the people on this screen. And I believe in good people. And when I see bad people, I tell them all the time, if I cut you off, that's because you gave me the knife.
Well, you know what? Let me
That's
go ahead
deep,
and write
though.
that one down because I'm with you when you write.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm like, that's deep.
I'm with you when you're right. Well,
Okay.
I definitely want to say thank you to both of you for your service and for being
Absolutely.
brave and courageous because, everybody cannot do that. So thank you for putting your life on the line
Absolutely.
and risking your future to protect us here.
hmm
And I do have a question for you both. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about joining the military?
Ooh-wee. Right now,
I'm not.
go
Yeah.
ahead, brother.
Yeah.
It's your
Go ahead,
room.
Ronnie.
What'd you say, T?
I was telling Ronnie, he could take off first.
Oh, you know me? Let me tell you what I got from the military. I went to college to play football, got hurt. Came home, my sister was married to a soldier. And he had new cars I was like, well, he said, go to the military for 2 years and you be able to play for your scholarship. I went and stayed 15 years. That's because I got a degree, low voltage communication. I traveled to Okinawa, Japan, Germany, Saudi Arabia, the Philippines, Hawaii. My family was born all over. Nothing you can get. If you want to travel and get out of them streets, you have a choice. You become a carpenter, electrician, or something, or go to the military. Go to college. My son in college right now. He gonna come out and he still, excuse my language, still gonna be dumb as hell until he get it going. He gonna have a degree,
Yeah.
but he ain't gonna have no street sense. When you go to the military, you gonna learn how to feed yourself, clothe yourself, clean yourself, take care of yourself, do your money, do everything. And when you come out, you gonna, in my opinion, you gonna have a head start over everybody your age that didn't go get a 4-year degree in playing in the NFL. In my opinion.
Hey.
Say it, cuz.
Hey.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
If you can survive all that mucky muck, and when you come out at the end of the movie, you're gonna be better set. I went straight to Comcast cable because my degree was from the military. I went from installing, they was like, no player, to a manager in 1 year. And to now I'm an electrical engineer where I build infrastructure for California. And all my training says United States Military and San Diego State University. And I don't work at all. I be driving around in circles for the last how long? I've been working about driving around in circles about the last 20 years. They like, yep, driving around in circle, player. I work with my finger in my mouth. My back is in good condition. So for me, if you go into jail and stuff like that, man, you need to get away for 2-3 years, come back. You're gonna notice your homies doing the exact same thing, and you notice you have moved on. You've grown up faster. But
Would
pick
you
the right one.
suggest the
Air Force.
military?
Air
I
Force.
know you're saying that was your reasoning back then, to get an education and to come back stable because you had an example in front of you with your brother-in-law.
Yes.
But in today's day and time, do you still feel as strongly about the military as being a good option for our young men today and our young women today?
Well, that's the first time somebody asked me that in almost 15 years. But I can come back and tell you once I research it, because I don't know what they offer and how many years and what or do you go right in the military and get deployed, or do you go in the military? I don't know. But at the time I went, it was the right move because they wasn't fighting nobody. But right now, there's all kind of stuff blowing up. So then when you go in the military, you got to be smart. You could go, there's a lot of things you can do in the military that don't require fighting.
Okay.
The military have every single occupation that you have out here, but it's on steroids. The internet was invented, trained, tested in the military before it came to y'all. MPEG, digital signals, zeros and ones, all trained in the military before it came to the United States. I had a cell phone, drove home. My dad was like, what is that? Before you had cell phones, I had a cell phone.
Wow.
I knew how the internet worked.
I'm sorry, I got disconnected for
Do that.
a hot second.
No problem,
No,
Go
sir.
it's
ahead,
okay.
Flex. Oh, he left? He going? So me, helicopter,
I
aviation,
can't hear y'all.
aerodynamics, all that stuff is structured and trained in the military to a standard that's so high that when you come out, you win it.
So what would
Wow.
you say, Taurus?
Hmm.
What's your
Come
Uh,
on.
take on it?
My take on it, is, you know, I'll give y'all a quick little story on my daughter,
Come
my
on.
oldest daughter. She wanted to follow in my footsteps, and I just told her the ins and outs before she even went in, and I told her the most hardest part that you're probably gonna have to deal with is probably boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hmm.
so what happened was, went on ahead, went in, and she's in right now. She's in the Air Force, and she says she loves it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Hmm.
So you know, she said she loves it. She said, "Dad, I don't got to worry about no job. I'm going to school. She about to get her master's degree out of it."
Hey.
So it's working out for her. Yep. So any kid today, like I told my youngest son, I said, "Hey man, if you don't know what you want to do, man, get out these streets, man. Go join the service, man. This is what you got to do. You got to, you know, this and that, ins and outs." Man, he's trying to figure it out. So,
So you said to your daughter that the hardest part was going to be boot camp, and what
yeah,
is it
boot
about
camp.
boot camp that, in your opinion, of course, it was the hardest part? Why was that
The
the
hardest
hardest part?
the hardest part about boot camp is they're trying to break. They're trying to see if can you handle all this pressure and this and that. And Ronnie could probably tell you a little bit more better than me because he actually was in the Army.
Yeah.
I was in the Navy, so it's like you said, it's two different things there. Like I went into the Navy because I didn't want to be jumping out no airplanes or running through the woods or the jungle. You know, I actually wanted to be, you know, take my risk out on the water. But yeah, that's the whole point is they trying to break you, and there's a lot of people that committed suicide. They, you know, just to get out. You know, so yeah, so that's my take. My
Did you
thing.
say a lot of people are committing suicide just to get out?
Yeah, some
Yeah,
people
they did.
kill themselves up in there.
Yeah,
Oh my
they
goodness.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Wow.
boot camp is designed. You talking about a ex drill sergeant? I know I hate to even say that, but boot camp is designed to strip out all your civilian bad habits. So I wake up late. I wake up when I want to. I ain't got to go run. I eat what I want to. I ain't got to take a bath. I ain't got to do nothing. It breaks all of that. Wake up in the morning, get up, get moving. You got this to do. It breaks you down. So whatever you used to doing, it's totally different. They make you be on time on this and this. You so structured, you don't
Yeah.
even know. By the time at the end of the day, you like, shit, I gotta go to sleep. Then you just go to sleep and you wake up in the morning, ding, 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 and you doing it again. You get so regimented, you know, it breaks you down. If you ain't used to, you know, getting your life change, it'll make you freak out. Oh my God. But if you went in there like, okay, like my brother told me, you get past this, brother, you winning. So I knew
Yeah.
it was a game. I was like,
Win-win.
yeah, whatever, player. I'm getting up.
Yeah.
And then I got myself together and I knew they was trying to break me down. And then I was able to deal with them. I treated it like a game. And then at the end of the thing, I was like, man, I'm always on time. I was late today, but if you check my whole MO out, I'm always early, I'm always prepared, and I'm always trying to think ahead. And I got all that from the military.
Yep.
I
It
didn't get
breaks you
none of that
down
from
to
Oakland.
build you up.
It did.
Right.
I didn't get none of it from Oakland, high school, mission, girlfriends, none of that. I got it straight from the regiment that the military put me through. Is why I'm pretty dependable. People depend on me now because they know if I'm not going to be there, I'm like, yo, man, 2 days before I'm not going to be there. That just helped structure me. But it took to rip that out of me. San Francisco, Bayview, Hunters Point. You know, I'm a double rock hoodlum. I done did all kind of stuff playing football, and then boom, cut your hair off. And they had to strip me of my old stuff. And they did.
Well, it's really nice talking to both of you because you guys have a more positive outlook on joining the service because, you know, I've talked to other vets that are, saying that they are experiencing mental health issues and
Right.
physical issues. Their story is different.
Yeah, and very
And,
fought too.
in their opinion, they wouldn't suggest anybody go in. But I
Mhm.
know that that's from a different time. Like I'm talking about, when we were fighting in Iran and stuff of that nature.
Right.
So it's nice to hear a different perspective from the both of you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Y'all know how much I love Makai, right? Y'all know how much I care about my son. I
Yes.
told him
Mhm.
at the end of this summer, if he don't get the exact college he want, he's going to the Air Force and play basketball. He already know. He's like, Dad, I'm going. Good. Because he
That
gonna take
sounds good.
avionics, computer science, and all that and play basketball. Because they want him to play basketball. That's the
Hmm.
I ain't sending him to construction where I'm at, electrician, pipe fitter. No. That's because he don't know how to work anyway. So I'm going to send him to that and let him go do what he needs to do. So that's how much I think about it. And you know how much I think about my son. So there it is.
Well, as Janae was saying, it's such a breath of fresh air to have two examples who, even though you had your challenges and some negative experiences, all in all, you came out with, secure careers and medical and assistance with purchasing your homes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But why do you think that there are actually so many veterans who are in the opposite situation? Why are some not in a home? Every month, I volunteer with another organization feeding the homeless, and we are feeding more homeless veterans than we are civilians who just happen to be, down on their luck right now. We have so many who don't have a place to go. We have so many who have health issues. They got free medical, but they still got health issues, or don't have the opportunity to see the specialist or have the medication that they need. So I'm trying to understand if going into the service is such a wonderful alternative as opposed to just being home in the streets or, maybe paying unnecessarily tuition cost, then why do we have so many coming home who are physically and mentally broken down?
So let me just say this.
Go ahead. I know you're going to say.
What I see, what I see what that is, I see this because everyone has a choice, right? So it's almost like being here in Oakland, right? Like sometimes you just don't want to do right. You want to go and party and drink and use drugs and all that stuff. And same thing in the military. Don't think it's just straight like that in the military. They in there using drugs, they drinking, they doing the same old thing, right? And I see a lot of veterans too as well, like that. And I'm like, look, dude, you get free help. Go get your help. But a lot of them don't want to do it. They just rather just live like they want to live like that. They, they don't want to take the next step to help themselves first.
Yeah.
And that's what I see. And I feel bad for them for that because they got so many benefits out here for veterans and they're not taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, come on, look at Ronnie. Look at me. Like, and it's more of us out there like that too, though.
Yeah, it's probably
Like,
a lot more than you probably know because you're in the service helping the people. But I say this, and there's something else that went on between me and this gentleman time. There's been a couple wars. I mean, close quarter wars, which gives you PTSD, gives you all kind of other things that me and this gentleman probably seen the war from a different perspective. If you go in the military and just take that money and say you want to be an infantryman, a cannon fodder, or something like that, that's exactly what you're going to do. They're going to teach you how to kill people. And when you get out the military, where you going to get a job killing people at? San Quentin? Where you go? I mean, if you only know how to shoot, move, and communicate, because there are thousands of jobs like that, and that they get lots of people who could just fog the mirror up. I scored 15 on the test. You go out there and run at that mountain and take the mountain out. Me?
I got one more thing I want to leave y'all with too
Go ahead,
before
Lee,
once Ronnie's done.
Go ahead, player. Go ahead.
So I just want to leave y'all with this, right? We talking about PTSD, right? A little bit, right? So I didn't tell y'all this. I'm in the middle of the Gulf. Right? We're not too far. We can see the horizon. It's lighting up over there. We just lighting up everything. Now, I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Just think about this. Could you imagine being out in that water in the middle of a war? You got water bombs, mine bombs, and you got these sweepers in front of the carrier trying to fix, trying to make sure that we don't hit none of those water bums, right? Mine bums. And not only that, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I was out at water with 4 or 5 other guys. We was out there for 11 months straight. Never seen no mountains, never seen nothing. All right. 11 months straight, no land. Now, wouldn't you think a person would have PTSD just from that?
Yes.
All right. I don't have
Yes, sir.
PTSD like that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and like Ronnie was saying, I grew up in church. I got up every morning, went to Sunday school, and I had chores to do. And so when I went into boot camp, it was quite easy for me. I used to just laugh at these dudes.
Yeah, me
I had to get up and make my bed every day when I was at home. So, it probably has a lot to do with how you raised too, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So you went in already with the mindset and the
And the
upbringing of
discipline.
structure and
Right.
discipline. So
Yeah.
it was just on a different level for you, but it wasn't anything you weren't already used to, as
Yeah.
Ronnie was saying.
Yeah.
Right.
I can
Yeah.
say that, yeah.
So, and when he said that, I was like, okay, I forgot to tell that part of it. But yeah, it's just, and plus I was rough too like that growing up. I played all the soccer and football and track and cross country, wrestle, all that. I did all that in high school coming up. So
it's not for everybody.
And sports is another form
we
of
was
discipline
athletes.
as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
it can be.
You can get, I think
So-
Yeah.
if you go in there, you can get whatever you want out of those armed services. But if you go in, you can get whatever you want. You got to go in there thinking you finna get what you're getting. You got to say, I'm getting education. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But if you go in there and they send you to Ukraine or wherever and be like, go run and get that mountain, well, damn. When you come out, you're going to say, what'd you learn how to do? Run against the mountain? There's a lot of people who, infantrymen and people who don't do nothing. I bet you nations, next time you find one of the military vets, say, what was your job in the military? Ask them. And then when you find out, 95% of them was non-technical. I'm guessing. Non-technical, nothing with the brain. Run down there, get the weapon, fill the truck up, go over here, pick this up, do that. But in my opinion, anybody that really technical and was thinking about it, they came out like me and this gentleman. And there's a lot of us. I every once a year I meet in Atlanta with about 1,000 homies I went to the military with, and they all of them doing good. Some of them got some deflected, some of them crazy than a road lizard. Some of them I wouldn't take to a damn bonfire, but I love them to death and they doing good. Yeah.
Well,
Okay, I
Ronnie,
appreciate
would
that.
you say, but the ones that do their job is to kill people, do you think that that's a necessary job, though?
Of course it's necessary. Yeah, excuse me, I know this is a gospel show, but hell yeah, it's necessary. I don't want to shoot them dudes running at me 15 homies at a time with nothing in the world, but I don't want to be that dude to shoot them. I want to be back saying run. You need killers in the military. War is hell. War.
So do
is
you think
really
that
hell.
if they were to utilize their benefits, as Torres says, a lot of them they don't want to go and get the help, but do you think that they would be in a better space if they were to utilize the benefits that are offered to them if killing was their job?
1,000%. I've did times where I still go speak in the Veterans Affairs, and I go talk to people, and they say they either have addictions or they have, I don't want to, or I should this. And I always encourage him because he'll tell you the military have the best damn benefit counselings in the world.
And doctors.
Huh?
And doctors too.
And doctors. So if they don't utilize them, they going to continue to be there.
Yeah.
This is true talk. So ask him next time, what did you do in the military, son? And he going to tell you. You're going to be like, okay. Then you're going to
probably got kicked out.
Or got kicked out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because then when you get kicked out, you don't get to utilize the benefits, right?
Nothing.
Okay.
No. Okay.
So it sounds like to me that the military was worth it for each one of you.
For me, it was quite worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
would probably do it again.
All right.
Yeah, I would too. I'm just not running through no desert.
Me either. I don't see no camel.
Yeah, you on the water.
Camel
I'll take
spiders
my
this
chances
big in
swimming.
Saudi Arabia.
For
This
real.
big. I don't know if you can see me. Camel spiders this big. They look like giant crabs running around here, you know.
Oh my
Man, I'm
goodness.
cool.
And they got scorpions that be like this tall. You'd be like, no. Yeah, but I would do it again. I would enlist again, and I would support my son if he wanted to. Tell you the truth, I would.
Well, that's definitely amazing. And we definitely want to say thank you so much for you guys
Absolutely.
coming on and telling your stories, because just like my sisters, my mom have said that I totally looked at it differently. I thought it was like the worst thing ever in life is to go into the military. But for you guys, it's a totally different experience. And we appreciate you letting us know. We appreciate you telling your story so that everyone out there will know that one, it depends on what you do in it, and it depends on how you react and how you go into it. So thank you so much for sharing your stories with us today.
Absolutely.
We want
Yes.
to, ladies, you have any other?
I appreciate the invite, ladies, and Ronnie, good service, man.
Right on, man. Good. Thank you for your service too, player. I appreciate it. I don't even know you, but I'm about to find you. I know you work at the bar over there. I'm gonna go have some Tito with you probably the next couple of days.
Yeah, man.
Any shout outs you guys want to?
I do.
Yeah,
I got a shout out to my cousin. You know, I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all doing this is beautiful. I normally set stuff up like for y'all.
Sweet.
Y'all got me sitting in here. I'm proud. I got a tear coming. This is wonderful.
So we didn't even get a chance to get to you guys' life after military, because what we talked about was so deep. But we go way back. He does music now, and he's the first person that I started doing music with 20 plus years ago. 20 plus years ago. And so that's amazing what you're doing now. It's amazing what you're doing now, Taurus. And we, like we said multiple times, thank you for your service. And I just want to say an extra special thank you so much to our guests for showing up and showing out with your stories. Thank you all, audience, for joining us for this special edition, because it definitely truly was a special treat for us. And we have more special treats coming. This is just the beginning of our guests that are going to be gracing our stage. Please remember to find us, and if you want to call us or text us, call us at 510-613-5229 or email us at booktcll24@gmail.com. I want to give it over to my mom for that special prayer to take us out of here.
Heavenly Father, we come before the throne of grace with praise, honor, and thanksgiving in our hearts. Lord, you said in your word that there would be wars and rumors of wars, that there would be nation against nation. And Heavenly Father, you said, don't worry about it because it's not the end. So Lord, we thank you. We thank you that it's not the end. And we're asking you, Father, to lead us, guide us, and protect us as we go through. And special prayers for all the servicemen and women, the military who have gone to war and made it back safely. We thank you. We ask special prayers for those who came back broken. Yes. Heavenly Father, mental illness, handicap, missing arms. Lord, we ask you to pray. We're asking you to bless them, to keep them, Father God. Let them know that you will not leave them nor forsake them, that you will be with them until the end of time. And we're just thanking you, Lord, because we know war affects more than just the military personnel. It affects their families. It affects the nations. It affects the states all over, Father God. So each one of us are asking for your blessings, your guidance, Lord. Bless us to be the overcomers that we have been made to be, that we've been created to be. And in Jesus' name I pray, and I thank you, I thank you, and I thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. This is GLO reminding you to be you because everybody else is taking. And remember, you were created to overcome. See you next time.